Something I notice about Superman, especially in the films, is how many times he's framed or represented like Jesus. That may sound strange, but I believe the artists creating these representations are intentionally framing him in a Christ-like way, especially when he's seen with his arms outstretched, mimicking the crucifixion. This is what's known as an allusion, not an illusion with an I, an allusion with an A. It's an expression designed to call something to mind without mentioning it explicitly, an indirect or passing reference. Now, that might seem a little vague, but I think the Superman framed as Christ reference is a good one to use as an example. Superman is definitely a Christ-like figure in many of his stories, in the sense that he comes down to Earth as a child and is represented as like a savior figure for humanity. In certain narratives, he even dies for us. Images of him, arms outstretched, are visual allusions to Jesus on the cross. You may not have really noticed this, but your brain did. And you may notice that you too do this on like a daily basis in just conversations with people. Have you ever called someone a Scrooge? Have you ever referred to someone as a good Samaritan? Have you ever even referenced a meme in real life? If you've ever given someone like a title or a nickname or given passing reference to a story in a conversation without mentioning the story you're talking about, you're making allusions. Authors will do this constantly. And it's fun to see what kinds of shout outs creators of stories will give to the stories that came before them or the stories that influenced them. In The Veldt, for instance, we have two children named Wendy and Peter who constantly travel to a fantastic world where they're freed from the responsibilities of everyday life and never have to deal with the pressures of growing up. In fact, they take steps to make sure that they never actually have to grow up. Have you caught the illusion yet?
Want to hear about the time I cut off Hook's hand and threw it to the crocodile?
By studying these famous short stories, mythology, Shakespeare, poetry, and many other aspects of culture, we open ourselves up to understanding more allusions in literature. The ability to understand allusions is a fun way to measure your cultural literacy, and they're incredibly fun to pepper throughout your own writing. Keep an eye out for them, and you'll get a sense of what an incredibly complex, amazing web of influences our canon of English literature actually is.